Welcome to Raw Talk. As always, there's going to be a link down below in the description box. Description box helps if I can speak properly. Drew McIntyre came out, shaking hands with a few fans. I always like to mention that because he's technically heel. He's a bad guy. Spoke about Seth Rollins being a junkie for the spotlight, wanting to participate in bloodline affairs that have to do on SmackDown. And now he's going to team up with Cody Rhodes for Mania on night one. Seth Rollins then came out to try to provoke Drew to Claymore kick him in the chin. Great promo, as always, from these two. It was really, really nice. Vignette promo with Chad Gable was really good. No goofy bullshit. All about that Intercontinental Championship. And the mantra being, this is more than just a match. Or whatever he was saying. I forget the exact line now. Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan was a pretty good match. Becky wins. Rhea came out to see what was going on. She congratulated Becky for beating Liv. Asks why she keeps taking on all these fights before Mania. Is it because she's going to be able to have an excuse for not being able to defeat Rhea Ripley? But this was really nice to see. Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce announced that there's going to be a 6-pack ladder match at Mania for the Tag Team Championship. So Judgment Day, Grand Slam Finny Finn, and Damian Priest are going to both have to face off against 5 other tag teams. It's going to be absolutely insane. Backstage, Judgment Day clearly not happy about that. Now, this here, for me, was completely just bizarre. It just, I don't know. It's just weird. Let me try and explain in case you didn't see it. So, Maxine Dupree and Ivy versus Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. So they, started wrestling, and Maxine started doing a couple of moves and whatnot. And Candice just, you could listen to the whole thing. Candice basically was just like, bullying her inside of the ring. Obviously, it's scripted, but I'm just saying. Making fun of her, saying she doesn't belong. You should hear what the ladies in the back are saying. This is why people are booing you. This is to play off of that whole thing where she got booed at a house event and someone said that she sucks because, no offense, inside the ring. Exactly. She's not that great, but whatever. As a person, I'm sure she's a very nice person. She's very enthusiastic. I just, no offense, don't really believe she belongs in the ring. And if she wants to pursue that, then that's great. NXT, right? She's got no wrestling history whatsoever. And that could be a bit of a danger. Anyhow, so they played on that with Candice LeRae. But this part, I don't know. Like me, I'm not sensitive. Like me, I wouldn't give a shit. I'm just surprised the WWE went ahead with this because she said something along the lines of, if your dead brother, it's a good thing your dead brother's not around or something like that anymore because he'd be ashamed. And then Indy Hartwell kicked Maxine. It was such a small boot. And then that was it. The whole match was over. So the whole thing here, yes, I'm dunking on it, was absolutely one of the worst things I've seen in recent memory. What was that? I have no idea what that was, but it was absolutely pathetic. Yeah. Backstage, Judgment Day are livid about having to face 5 other teams. Supposedly, it was The Miz and R-Truth's idea. Remember they were talking about that revenge? That's what this was, and Damian was very pissed off and he's like, you know what? I want Truth tonight, because then Truth ended up coming out. And they were not happy with one another. Michael Cole in the ring now brings out Cody Rhodes. This was just an amazing interview, at least for me it was. It was just great. Words don't properly encapsulate the moment that I witnessed in the ring. Vignette promo with superstars that'll be in the gauntlet match. Funny enough, they only had Ricochet and JD. No one else was in there. Just thought that was interesting. Why those two? Right? Because we now know that neither of them even came close to winning. So it was just kind of interesting why they did that. Backstage, Becky and Liv shook hands. And then Nia Jax slammed the two of them backstage to the ground. Kabuki Warriors, thank you. And Shayna and Zoe put on a clinic. A great, great match. Shitty ending because I hate distractions. I just hate when it ends in distractions because I know that they can very much on their own get a clean win like Gunther does, and he's a heel. I'm just saying. Backstage, Andrade. Oh, that was cool. Stops by to see the Judgment Day. Dirty Dom wasn't around this week. He said he's a man of business, so he's willing to do business. Let me know if you need anything. And Finn Balor essentially backed him up and said, you know what? I've known him a long time. So is Dom. He could be an asset to the Judgment Day. But Damian Priest, laser focused on the fact that he's got to face 5 other teams. Great vignette promo with Shinsuke Nakamura and Bronson Reed wanting to claim their stake at being the best. Truth and Damien, I enjoyed this a lot. DIY came out in support of our Truth. And then Finn and JD came out, attacked him from behind. Damien won. Kind of expected that. But it was fun to see Truth around, like I said. I am very much biased. But I do think he's great. He's like 51 years old. He's like older than John Cena. He's just great. He's a really good athlete. Really good wrestler. And, yeah, this was a good time. Backstage, Becky says she's pissed. And against her good judgment, still declares that she's going to do a match versus Nia next week on Raw. And a last woman standing match. Now, is Nia going to win that? Because it can't be Becky. Because she's the man. I know that was really... I was waiting like all segment to say that. Been wanting to say that. Jey Uso then came out with a decent little promo. Wasn't like cringy or whatever. Except for the yeet thing. I'm not into the yeet much. It hasn't taken me over. Says he wants Jimmy. Wants little Jimmy at Mania 40. I'd like to see it. That could be a great, great match. Vignette movie about Gunther and his 640 days at the time. Now 641 as of the making of this video. As the Intercontinental Champion. The longest of all time. And then backstage, Jackie spoke with Gunther. Just a great promo. As always, I'm so proud to have Gunther as a heel champion that's legit, that can win clean, doesn't always need Imperium around. I can't stress that enough. This isn't like some Rick Rude, Bobby Heenan stuff, you know what I mean, or Mr. Fuji or anybody else pulling a fast one to, get the sneaky win. This is like legit. It was announced that on March 25th, in 2 weeks in Chicago, CM Punk is featured to return, not to action, but to probably talk or be on commentary or something. I think that's going to be great. And for me, the in-ring highlight of the night has to be the gauntlet match. I'm not going to narrate the whole thing, well, maybe a little bit. You had Ricochet that took out JD. He then faced Bronson Reed. Big Bronson Reed won. Reed splashed Ricochet. Sami Zayn then faced Sammy. I said Sami Zayn then faces Sammy. Sami Zayn then faces Bronson Reed. And Sammy defeated Bronson Reed, but as a sore loser, Bronson still splashed him. And then Shinsuke came out. Sammy still defeated Shinsuke. Managed to do that. And then Chad Gable then came out. This was the highlight of the gauntlet match for me. Just an amazing back and forth. And to me, it made Sammy look so strong. And I think part of the reason I enjoyed this so much was I was okay with whoever was going to win. But I truly felt like it was going to be Chad Gable. Because Chad Gable's never won like a singles competition belt. Chad Gable was pushed for this. Oh, my daughter cried, boo-hoo, and all this kind of stuff. And this means more for me than anybody else, or whatever his catchphrase was that I keep forgetting. So there was so much emphasis on Chad. And no offense, not as much on Sami Zayn. But when Sammy won, I was like, oh, mon petit Christ de tabarnak. I was just so proud for him, not because we're both Montreal and we're French. That has nothing to do with it. There's none of that. And what was cool to mention, in case you didn't know, not to get into religion and politics and all that, but Sammy's Muslim. And the reason that's relevant to the conversation is because, well, it's I don't want to say the word wrong. It's that thing where he's fasting. We'll just leave it at that. So he did not eat, probably just drank liquids to keep himself hydrated. So the fact that he hadn't eaten all day and was able to put on a clinic of a match speaks testament, volume to him as a person. I just think that's amazing. I can't go 2 or 3 hours without eating something or drinking something. This guy went the whole day and he still did that. Like, oh, wow. Yeah. And then Gunther came out. And then R-Truth versus Dame. No, we've already had that. Man, my notes, I don't know what's up with my notes, but that was the end of it. Yeah. I'm very, very proud for Sammy. Again, I enjoyed the evening watching this yesterday. Actually, today. It happened yesterday, but I always watch it the day after. I enjoyed myself. Again, I can nitpick. Definitely the Candice LeRae Maxine thing was just bizarre to me. It was just, I don't know. It was just weird. Whatever. It happens. Over the years, oh my goodness, could I ever talk about some weird things that I don't understand? There you have it. We are just a few weeks away from WrestleMania. It is going to be... oh boy. It's going to be something. I have a feeling there's going to be a few like, oh wow, I wasn't expecting that, or I was hoping that was going to happen and it did happen. We're just going to have to wait and see with all the different matches that we're going to have. And one of the things I love in recent history, which definitely wasn't the case when I was younger, is WrestleMania being a 2-night affair. Like that's what I'm talking about. It's like 5-6 hours of just pure raw entertainment, and I love it. Yeah. Definitely not watching it live. I don't think. I might. I don't think so. Because my attention span is really bad. I want to be able to pause it and resume and all this kind of stuff. So yeah. Anyhow, enough rambling. As always, if you enjoyed the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. It does greatly help support the channel with the algorithm. This is a lot more than just a happy feel-good moment that I get seeing 3 likes on a video. Trust me, that does nothing for me. The algorithm does something for me when it's good. And if you didn't like it, you know the drill. A thumbs down. And you'll get it bent in half, twisted. And you'll get a solo Sokoan spike. I'm not explaining the Sokoan thing unless you permanently. Unless you personally address me and say, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Sokoan? His name is Solo Sikoa. He's Samoan. I see what you did there. It should be renamed the Sokoan Spike. I'm just saying. And with that tape, just to make sure his finger doesn't go brown. Okay, that's enough of that. And if you want to subscribe, great. And if not, well, I don't blame you. Thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care, and perhaps I shall see some of you in the next one. Bye for now.